Hey everybody, Mike here, Rollin Picker with a new video for you. Today's Chewing the Fat. I was supposed to be interviewing Mandy Kelly, but unfortunately her little ones, Savannah and Silas, came down with the grunge, and then she got it. And she told me she's been pretty sick. The kids are still sick, and it wouldn't be a very fun interview for anybody. So she canceled, and we'll probably reschedule her because Mandy's a very interesting person. She's got a lot to say, and I think you guys would enjoy hearing about her and what goes on with her. So we'll try to get her on uh, in another, after she's gotten better, and we'll reschedule her. So with that said, what I've done is I've created a video for you to show you a handful of the channels that I follow and that I watch. Now, I know I'm always telling you guys, let's go outside the box, get outside your comfort zone, you know, find new channels, learn something new, enjoy yourself. I mean, YouTube's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be work. It's supposed to be fun. So, with that said, I'm going to show you some of the fun that I enjoy and some of the people that I watch. So let's get on over and see the handful that I picked. All right, guys. The first channel I've been watching is Musty One. Now, this guy is pretty cool. He gets old vintage stuff that dies or it's dead. He's a couple of his videos, he's brought stuff back to life. Like his series is Will It Run? And I've watched quite a few of these. There's still more, but I find it interesting when he gets into the vintage single-cylinder motors, like the Briggs and Stratton and some of the. And he's done a couple that are in the 1940s and 50s, and these are engines and like these motorcycles and cars that he gets. He does the repairs on a budget. He works out of the shop at his house, and it reminds me of when I turned a wrench. What I used to do on the weekends, man. I was always had something in the garage. I was always tinkering and fixing stuff. So it kind of reminds me of time long gone, long past. But I kind of lived through that vicariously, and kind of gives me the desire to, say, hey, man, I think I can still do this again. So I enjoy his channel, and that's Musty One. And the next, I've been getting into wood turning, and this Nick Zametti, he's in England, and he does all kinds of turning. He uses resin, or he uses just wood. He uses metals. He uses anything he can get, and he makes some pretty funky and some pretty cool stuff. I made a huge coloring pencil. That was a pretty cool one. That was a big pencil, and I enjoyed watching that one. And it's just something different, I mean, I used to work with laminates and resins when I was in high school. We had the craft class, and you had the shop classes. You had machine shop, you had wood shop. I took all the classes like that, and I just really like watching Nick. He's pretty cool. He's funny. He does restore some stuff, but it's mostly turning and creating. I encourage you guys to go check him out and just see what it's about. The next guy is from England, but he's here in the States, and that's Alex Steele Blacksmith. This kid is a young guy, and he is, I think it's what gets me with this channel is his enthusiasm, his eagerness to create things. He challenges himself to do more. Like I watched him making this signet ring for his father. He was heading back to England, and he wanted to make a signet ring for his dad, working with gold. And he showed how he did he cut the wax, and then he did that what they call lost wax. We've seen Sandy do that, and he sat there and he carved it out. He made the mold. He did the thing. He's working on the gold. I mean, he finally got done. Now he's got a buddy in there that works with him that's in the U.S. and they have little competitions every now and then. Like they made the push daggers, the throwing stars. They did the forging the hog splitter. That was pretty interesting. making the pipe tomahawk. That was pretty cool. And you know, I don't know what it is about the channel. I think it's the pounding. Like, what guy? I mean, hot metal. It's kind of dangerous. Hot metal and a big power hammer, pounding down and beating that stuff, and then the hammer and swinging it, and the finished product. I guess it might be from my creative side. It's most of these channels are like things I've either done or things that I've wanted to do or wanted to learn. So this is another one, Alex Steele. He's pretty funny, and his channel is awesome. So if you get a chance, go check him out. The next guy, Vice Grip Garage. Now this guy, I mean, I can tell you he's a very good mechanic. His humor, he's really funny. He kind of reminds me of the Red Green Show. It's like one of them was one of the videos that I watched on here that I thought was pretty interesting as I've been going through his channel was the 69 Chevelle. That was, he bought it off of like I guess an eBay or Craigslist, and he didn't know if it had a motor in it or anything, and he went there and he got this thing cobbled together on minimal money and drove it 500 miles back home, and it made it. And all of the stuff that he works on, he gets these cars like this Rambler, this AMC Rambler. I think this is one of them he forgot that he even bid on eBay, and it shocked him when it showed up because he had forgot about it. And then down here, he was working with his wife restoring her 70 Chevelle, and she was in there showing how to do the interior. That's a really cool channel. So if you're a mechanic, I mean, and it just reminded me of turning a wrench. And I was always working on old cars, trying to save the old steel, the old iron, and keep them running, and instead of them going to the scrapyard. And the one that I think is very interesting that you guys would like is the junkyard 57 Chevy. First start in 29 years. Him and his sons worked on it. He's got some young kids. Very cool channel. I encourage you to go check them out, especially if you dig burnouts and just craziness and working on cars and learning something new. It's a great channel. Now, you guys always hear me talking about food challenges or the competition eaters or, the mukbangs. Well, this is Eric the Electric, and this is one of his channels. He does food challenges. He eats massive amounts of calories, and yet the guy's really thin, and that's because he works out every day. He doesn't eat like this all the time, and that he has to let people know. And him and his girlfriend Christy, they got their other channel, The Electrics, and they do cheat days, and because she's a professional trainer and bodybuilder and trainer, and she has her own channel called Girl Hustle. Pretty interesting. But this here is like, I mean, when you look at this, I'm just amazed at how somebody can eat that much Hershey's chocolate, that much Arby's. I watched this All-American Cheat Meal Challenge 25,000 with Nikocado Avocado, who's a big-time mukbanger. I watch him too. He's a pretty cool dude. Eric finished this massive. They were doing it as a challenge, and he finished this massive hamburger and fries, a 2-pound shake, all kinds of candy and pastries that was involved in it. And Nick gave it his best shot, but he's not a competition eater. But it was still a very good. These are still very good videos. I enjoy them. I enjoy seeing the abuse he puts his body through, and I'm just amazed at how somebody. Well, his story is he used to be 200 pounds in high school, and then he started powerlifting, and then he became anorexic while he was powerlifting. He was just obsessed with not being fat, and after many attempts in clinics, his family put him in clinics and those kind of places where you go to get yourself straightened out. He finally came around, and he's living a regular life in California, and he does these food challenges. And he's not overweight. He works out. He does powerlifting. He'll ride his 10 speed or his 10 or 12 speed bike, like his racing bike. He'll do like a 50-mile ride, and he eats regular meals during the week. Low protein. He's like on this keto. He kind of watch. Well, he's trying not trying the keto, but he watches his protein, his fiber. He all goes by a macros, and that's the information. It's on the side of the package. I mean, I've learned a lot about diet, and I've learned that there's no way I can eat like this. But it's interesting to watch somebody else that can enjoy it and can do it. So that's one of the other channels, is Eric the Electric. Now, I'm into some paranormal ones, and this Eagle Eye Vlogs Paranormal is a little bit special. There was one day, Angie and I were in here, and she has spirits in her house. She uses the voice box and all that other stuff. And one day we were over there watching. We got notified that she was live, so we went in there to go chat with her. And she was having issues. The house was really cold. The internet was acting wacko. And finally, the spirit box started working and talking. And Angie, people were asking if there was, so and so was there, or if this family member was there, and she was getting answers on the spirit box. So Angie decided to ask if there's a Lillian Capelli there. That's her great nana. That's her nanny. That's her great nana, her biz nana. And she said, okay. So she asked. She said, "Is Lillian Capelli here with us?" And clear as day, you heard the word yes. So I typed in the chat and I said, "Ask her if she's there with anybody else." And she asked her, and the voice came back and said yes. And she said, "Who are?" And I asked her who's there with her, because I was looking to see if my dad and my grandfather were with her. And she said Russell and Raymond. Now, Russell is my dad's first name, and Raymond is my grandfather's first name. So I don't know how anybody could fake that, because she doesn't even know anything about my family. And Angie and I were just blown away. We were taken back by it. And it was kind of a good, warm, fuzzy feeling knowing that my Nana was there and letting us know that they're okay, and that Dad and my dad and my grandfather are there with her. And sorry about these. I thought I turned that off, but sorry about the notifications coming through. So it was just interesting, man. And we continually go over there. We check with her. We watch her channel. We get involved. I mean, it's very interesting. I mean, it's not like the spooky stuff like, you see on TV where they go and you see bricks flying and this and that. I mean, she has spirit activity in her house. It's not craziness like nobody's, no poltergeist or nothing like that I've seen. It's just mostly the internet goes wacky or the phone dies real quick. And actually, I have to tell you guys, when Angie and I were asking those questions, my battery on my laptop, because I didn't have it plugged in, my battery was like at 70%. I don't know what Angie's was at, but then when apparently my grandmother came through and then let us know that Russell and Raymond were with her, within a matter of seconds, my computer battery went from like 70 down to 30. I mean, that fast. Normally, you have to be doing something to use up that much battery, but it was like within seconds. So I don't know if that was Nana letting me know that she's okay and everybody's there. And it would have been cool if we could have found out, if there were some aunts and uncles there, then it would have really solidified it. But it did for me, hearing her mention Russell and Raymond. So, pretty cool. Now, the last two that I've got are very special because this kind of hits home for me because of disability. And that is Pablo Cimadevilla. This guy is a master jeweler. He crafts some of the most beautiful things that I've ever seen. His story is, when he was young, he was in a wheelchair. He couldn't walk. His mother told him, "You might not be able to walk, but you will swim." So she got him into pool activities. and he is an Olympic. Uh, he's an Olympic athlete. He has placed and gotten medals at the what they call them, paraplegic or Paralympics as in the swimming category. And while he's in his wheelchair, he creates all these masterpieces. And you know, that, when I first started watching him, when I first saw him, I didn't notice the wheelchair. And then one video, it was always him sitting up at the counter, like he was sitting working. And then when I watched the video where he had to go pour some metal or making the wax mold, he was cutting wax. There he is in the wheelchair. So I mean, I didn't learn about his history until I went and read his bio on his own website. But he creates some very beautiful things. He's in Spain, and just very cool. Especially he turned the two hex nuts into one carat diamond ring. He's got this thing on his arm tattooed as kamikaze, and then on his other arm he's tattooed it says, if you can think it, you can do it, or something like that. So somebody messaged him and challenged him and said, you know, if you believe that if you think it, you can do it, then how about making an engagement ring for me um, out of, or a diamond ring out of two nuts, two regular nuts. Man, it was awesome. So I encourage you guys to check him out, especially those of you with a disability. Like, you know what? When I watched this guy, it kind of changed my whole life. It was like, my God, if this guy can do this, I can certainly do anything. But the guy that really blows me away and that really is an inspiration to me is this guy, Chris Fisher. I found Chris Fisher through Nick Zimmerman's website, or Nick Zemitini, the other Turner, his channel. Chris, as it says here, in 2008, he lost his eyesight. Now, this guy turns wood on a lathe. He's blind. He's working with machinery. And he makes things. He doesn't let his blindness interfere with what he does. And that is such an inspiration. And it speaks loudly to me that no matter what your condition or your situation is, you can still do it. You can still do things. If you don't want to do the things, that's not because of your disability. That's because, like, if I didn't want to do something, it wouldn't be because of my disability. My disability doesn't state who I am. It doesn't make who I am. It's like it's me. If I didn't want to do anything, it's me. It's not the disability that causes it. It's my mental condition, mental situation. So when I watch this guy from his earlier videos, a matter of fact, I just started watching him. I found him, like I said, through Nick's channel. I'm like, man, if this guy can do this and he's blind and he's working around machinery with sharp cutting tools, then I can go back and do the liquidation stuff like I was doing and repairing the Sony headphones and doing all this other stuff. There's no reason why I can't do it. And every now and then, I need that kick in the pants to let me know that, hey, you can do it. There's no reason that you can't. There's no reason that I couldn't blacksmith. There's no reason that I couldn't work on a car. I mean, certain things I couldn't do, but certain things I can. I mean, even if I pass the knowledge down to someone else and say, well, you got to do this, turn that, do that, pull that out, make that adjustment there. I mean, that's my knowledge, and it's training somebody else. So the more I watch these guys, like Pablo and Chris, the more it instills in me to keep going, have the drive, and to just not consider myself some old guy that's stuck in bed. Because there's many things that I can do, you know, from my room, or when the kids get me into the chair, a wheelchair or the other chair, many things that I can still do. You know, it's just I'm my own limit to what, and this is what these guys showed. So I encourage you to go and check these two guys out, especially Pablo and Chris, if you want to see some really cool stuff done by some people that are disabled. So that's pretty much it, guys. So anyway, I want to encourage you guys to go check these guys out. Don't forget today at 7 p.m. Central is MSP auction on Dwayne's channel, Mothership Products. And I believe the two that are doing the auction tonight are going to be Tanya, Thrifty Treasures, and Lonnie, Garage Flips. So they usually have got some pretty cool stuff. So come and check them out, man. Have some fun. Get some bidding in. Meet some people. And have some fun. If you like this video, please give it a like or thumbs up. Click the subscription button and the bell for notification. Leave a comment down below in the comment section. And share this with anybody you think that might find it interesting, you know, with the some of the channels that I've got up here. And I want to ask God today to bless you guys with much success, great health, happy life, happy family, healthy kids, sound, strong mind, and prosper you like no tomorrow. Just crazy prosperity. And I know He'll do it because I asked for it. So with that said, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Rollin Picker out.